Good morning, Singapore. Good afternoon and evening to many of our viewers at home, and welcome to day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. I am your host, Jared Kale. I will be guiding you on this journey of epicness throughout the week. This is day 2, and as with every day this week, we are opening our day with League of Legends between some of the best players in the world. We even have a Singaporean team over here for you right away. I know that's really exciting. We have a new format, if you're not familiar, if you didn't see us yesterday. We don't just have casters, we have an analysis desk. Very, very, very pro. I'm going to introduce them to you right away. A little bit different from yesterday. Our analysis desk today is substituting demand for but I love you. So I'll let them introduce themselves here in a second. Hi, Jason. You can start talking now.
Words for you, Jared. After that talk last night, no words anymore with your EQ talk. But anyways, yeah, I am actually not Demon. I'm Jason. I love you, Captain. We have Daniel Klein. We have Ocelot here on the analysis desk. Gonna try something a little bit different here. And what was your guys' thoughts on day 1?
It was fun.
It was really fun, actually. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, like commenting, giving some insight, giving some highlights of the games. Yeah,
we had the little unfortunate incident. Well, not incident, but we had Armageddon, who is a Dota team, so you can't really say too much about them. But they did go 0-3. We had a 3-way tie with Absolute Legends NA, with Kuala Lumpur Hunters, and with ELO Hell. And ELO Hell was the one that didn't actually go through. So we have those 2 teams already advanced. And what do you think is going to happen with Group B? Since we have such a
that means Dota 2 0, League of Legends 3.
I don't think we could say that, even though we all kind of want to.
I kind of want to go back in time and unsay that.
Say that.
I don't know. The Singaporean teams today, I heard from a lot of sources that we should not count them out.
We should probably go over who's actually playing today. We have Meteor Makers,
yep.
Itataki Masu.
I don't think you pronounced the final.
Itataki Masu.
Mas.
American.
Yes,
American.
Okay.
We also have Bangkok Titans.
Yep.
And then the last team is Absolute Legends, their new Singapore team, Absolute Legends
Event Potion.
Event Potion, yeah. Previously was Pokemon Emerald Ribbon.
No, really?
Yeah, that was the previous name. Yes, we have those teams playing. What do you guys think?
MYM is gonna top the group 3-0 unless there is a major upset, I would say. I mean, it's probably a little bit early to say this, but I'm just gonna come right out there and do it and probably curse them.
Commentators curse.
Probably curse them.
Probably curse them, yeah. But other than that, I know that Itataki Mas are all Diamond Season 2, so they know the game. And I spoke to the AL Event Potion guys a little bit as well. They've competed in a few local tournaments and did well there. So at least it's definitely teams that know the game. Are they on the level of a Meteor Makers who've played together like this since March this year and defeated people like M5? Possibly not. Possibly not. But I think we should at least see a couple of really interesting matches today. And the second slot in this group is going to be hard fought.
Yeah, and we've probably touched on Meteor Makers since it is Meteor Makers versus Absolute Legends Event Potion. And I was talking to Makati before, mentioning, you guys have been kind of underrated the past couple of months. You haven't really gotten a big break yet, but they're qualified. Well, they're here at IEM Singapore. They're qualified for IEM Cologne, where they took down Moscow 5, and they're finally starting to see some of that tension that most teams really need to get going to, start snowballing throughout the rest of Season 3 coming up.
Yeah, indeed. Like, they are playing so well lately, and hopefully they got the chance right now to prove it.
Yeah, you've been talking about this actually a lot to me, Ocelot, these days, how a team needs that certain amount of steam and start having a couple of successes, then all of a sudden it's like, bam, they start rolling.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works. Like, they demonstrated that after a loss, they know how to come back, they know how to get over it, and that's the most important thing, no?
Yeah. And I'm really curious to see what they're going to do. I remember you were talking a little bit, you can't go too much into it about what they're going to do, but they have some tricks up their sleeves. I know Absolute Legends NA from yesterday has some tricks up their sleeves that we didn't unfortunately see yet. But I'm really looking forward to the matches. And I was actually doing research. It doesn't relate to necessarily this group, but Bangkok Titans and Kuala Lumpur Hunters actually played in Garena Premier League, and I believe it was Bangkok Titans lost all but one. They won 1 out of 7 matches against them. So there's a little bit of history there. I'm curious to see if that team, or Bangkok Titans, will actually advance into the playoffs, because then maybe they'll get the revenge finally.
Right.
And that could be pretty interesting.
That could be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ocelot, for Meteor Makers, who do you think is going to be like a breakout player for them for this event? Because we have Mackler, we have Makade,
Charu.
I know Zaru quite a lot. And his mid lane is just awesome. And I don't know, I find Zaru a player I like to play against because he's actually different than the others.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't play standard. He doesn't like doing the wraiths too much. he wants the trading. You know, he likes 1v1ing you. So he's actually a player you have fun have a lot of fun playing against.
Can you talk about his like favorite mid champions?
Actually, he was one of the guys that started playing Oriana before me. And when I saw him, I was like, actually, his Oriana is really good. I want to test it, you know. And well, my Oriana came from that basically. So you could say Oriana is one of his best champions. Then I know his Cillian is really, really good as well.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Zillion bans yesterday.
Yeah, I've played against his Cillian as well several times, and he's a hero you should be scared of if he plays it. Same
Yeah,
for Alexic. Actually,
yeah, Alex on
him,
from Moscow 5 on
their
Zillion.
Zillions are just crazy.
Yeah, they run that Zillion Olaf combo, I believe, where
Yeah.
you know Olaf just gets kind of tanky and just runs through the enemy team with his ultimate, with his ghost, with the speed buff. It's quite devastating. Actually, in the group stage yesterday, we had quite interesting compositions. We had some teams actually going with a more team fight-oriented composition. We saw some teams going for, you know, you pick someone off, you kind of like pretty much the Katarinas. We saw at ELHL, they kind of just try to get someone low and have it train through. Do you think we're going to see, you know, more team fight-oriented compositions today, or maybe, you know, still a little bit out of the ordinary?
Well, he does play these assassins, but he doesn't like them as much as the Cillians, the Orianas and stuff, you know. So I think we will see more those range standard AP champions than Katarinas, Dianas and stuff. But he plays them as well.
So my prediction is going to be that they are probably going to be rather straightforward for these group stage matches here, Meteor Makers, that is. Because they probably also expect to easily win this group stage. So if they have any specific team comps with really strong synergies or some interesting setups that we haven't seen before prepared, they're not going to bring them out in the group stages because they expect to go through the group stage with standard play, which is, of course, at least a bit of a gamble because they're not playing as strong as they could. You know, they're not bringing out the secrets that they might have prepared. But I would expect them to go for very, very standard European metagame picks here in the group stages, and then maybe in the semis they might bring out some more interesting things. Now, if the enemy teams have something crazy prepared, it might catch them off guard.
Yeah.
We'll have to see about that. But if you are the weaker team in the tournament, you play against a much stronger team, would that be the time to bring out the crazy thing and hope that maybe it works?
I mean, when you're clearly worse, either way you go for Vayne and something, or
that Vayne York Nunu we saw yesterday, it was insane.
We were talking about it before, Sinan and me. Either way you go for the Vayne and something else, whatever, or you go for a going combo with early game domination, with a jungler like Lee Sin or a jungler that has a lot of domination and can level 3 1v1 the opposite jungler. If it goes good, you might snowball the game.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of Lee Sin bans as well yesterday.
Yeah, Lee Sin was up there with the Zillions. And you mentioned, Daniel, how Makers probably goes in thinking they're going to 3-0 the group. But I got to ask also, you can't have that mindset, right? You can't have a mindset that, oh, you know, we're going to stomp these teams. You have to respect every team individually, do research on all of them, and not take it too lightly, or you could end up, you know, losing.
Yeah, that's what happened yesterday. And I mean, the mindset you have to have is, I want to win all 3 games. I want to stomp them. But the mindset you have to have as well is that, I mean, they are not, I was about to say my word. They are teams that might beat me, you know? So I cannot underestimate them because I can't lose against everybody.
Okay.
Like yesterday happened.
I can't just pick Malphite mid.
Oh, gosh. I know, that was a really interesting pick because they saw the Yorick early on because they hovered over him. And then they kind of like got an idea of, hey, maybe we should pick Cho'Gath because we can be, you know, very...
That was unrealistic. Really unrealistic. That was just the worst pick you could ever do is against a really tanky team going AP Malphite. That is the worst pick you can do.
Because you need to burst somebody down to be efficient.
When do you pick AP Malphite mid? Which I don't mean that it doesn't work. It does work. But it does work against, for instance, a combination of Ezreal, LeBlanc.
LeBlanc,
you know what? Something really squishy, you know?
Yeah, but then you might as well just go for Katarina because then you can get the reset so often.
Yeah, well, obviously there are better choices than AP Mal, but they want to have fun.
Speaking of Katarina, I saw your Twitter post earlier talking about every time Jason Joe said Katarina, you should take a shot.
Yeah, don't do that.
The news reports how many people died from alcohol poisoning from that.
Yes.
Oh, man. So, give me predictions. Top 2 teams to move through. You're both pretty much agreed on Meteor Makers. Who's the second one?
I will say...
we haven't really seen... We have to say we haven't seen Absolute Legends event Potion yet. So that's kind of something we can look forward to, as well as Ikitaki Masu.
Yeah, I just saw that name of one of the players there. It's going to be fun. All right, sorry.
I think either AL or I got some faith in Bangkok.
Hmm?
But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, let's be honest. Those teams are a little bit not known by us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we are a little bit unexperienced when it comes
Right,
down to these players. We don't know what we're gonna find, but I think Bangkok guys are gonna be actually really good. I got a feeling.
Yeah, in the Greener Premier League, they played against teams like TPA, Singapore
yeah.
Sentinels,
That-
Saigon
that's what
Jokers,
I
so
mean.
it's not like a pushover in that,
That is what I mean.
tournament. Yeah, but we do have actually people join the lobby, going to be finally going to the band's picks. I'm really excited to get this going because this is my first time actually hosting something.
Oh.
I don't know, and I'm pretty sick. A lot of people in the crew are getting sick lately.
Yes, me
With
too.
all in Singapore, the humidity change. Like you go to your room, it's cold, it's dry. You go outside, it's hot, it's humid. It just
Two
it throws
different
you off.
worlds. If
Yeah,
you
it
start
throws you off.
sweating, it's non-stop.
As you keep saying, you're drinking the air when you breathe, right?
You drink in the air.
Also, I'm very confused because I keep looking at your hair and I think I'm casting with atosis.
Yes.
Which would be, of course, a childhood dream, but
He's a very handsome man. He's
he
actually
is a very
right over there right now.
handsome man, right over there.
Actually, we talked about switching every once in a while to see if anyone would notice.
I think people would notice.
we should switch the clothes. You know, like
You keep wanting to do that.
He just wants to take his shirt off.
Yeah,
It'd be
you
really
just
funny.
do it. Just take your shirt off. Like, come on.
Oh come on.
He keeps every time. He's just like trying to
We
take
should-
off his
we
shirt and
should
show his
switch
abs.
clothes.
Because clearly Ocelot has been lifting, even despite all those jokes.
And Alex from SK apparently told him that the iron is waiting for him in the gaming house in Cologne.
The iron's waiting for me. Good luck, Iron.
Yeah, I think we have the lobby full. Not quite sure what we're waiting for right now. Actually, here's a fun fact for you. One of the players of AL, I'm not actually sure which one of them, is Polish Vietnamese. So he does speak Polish as well. So they
Interesting.
should be careful not to discuss any strategy in all chat.
And yeah, also, I mean, I'd like to pick your brain because after the show yesterday, we talked a little bit, and I mentioned something how most team compositions seem to be forming around the AP mid, and you disagreed with that. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because it was really interesting.
Yeah, as I said, like my answer to that to your question was that was the mindset I had 1 year ago. You know, that's how I thought about the games 1 year ago. Right now, I think about the games. You don't base a setup around one hero. You base a setup around many heroes because as more heroes appear, more strategies appear. You know, 117 champions. I think.
107.
Or 7
6
champions,
or
whatever.
7, something
Yes,
like that.
too many, you know. You have to make setups around champions because some champions synergize together pretty well. You can say, okay, we can do a setup around Zillion, but what about making a setup around Zillion and some other champion that brings AoE and some other champion that has survivability?
So you're making a team comp around a strategy, not a specific champion, like
Exactly.
going all in or picking someone off. Or
Exactly.
Okay. And yeah, it's always really interesting to pick your brain about that kind of stuff because you never really get the insight from a pro player too often. Just to sit down one-on-one and talk about what exactly goes through their minds. Because even the bans and picks talking about it, you see things that most of us won't see. Jat, when he casts with Demon, he always talks about things that no one ever could possibly think of except the teams themselves, like trying to bait them into picks and kind of counter it.
Well, Jason, very soon Ocelot is going to be living in Cologne, in
Yes,
the city
he
you're
is.
living in right now, so there might be some scope there for you to do a program with him, maybe.
Yeah, you guys are
maybe, man.
having a pro gaming house in Cologne, correct?
Yeah. From January.
January,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm so looking forward, man. I'm gonna make sure we train so much, man, for season 3. Gonna rock it.
And we did mention, we talked about, at least a group of us, talking about Moscow 5 and how they, tails the lane, they, got knocked down to 3rd and 4th place, and how it's kind of a little bit of a resting period between Season 2 and Season 3. And you guys you talked about that, how, you can't get tired of the game. You have to relax, you have to have some fun, or else you won't enjoy doing it later. And it basically becomes your job because you're going to be salaried by Riot.
Well, let's call it every team, every player has up and downs, and the ups normally collide. The ups are normally in the same month where the really, really important tournaments are happening, and the downs are happening when smaller tournaments are happening and you got nothing big to fight for, So I'm not saying this month we shouldn't focus on that, but yeah, obviously up and downs happened. So this month are the downs one.
All right, well, we are finally going to be going to pick some bands. We're going to head over to Jarrett to actually introduce the teams. And Jarrett, I really wish you talked about your beard growing out per day so you know how far IEM has progressed.
Your Intel Extreme Masters by the length of my hair. That is a good measure. Also, you might have noticed Jason's trying out a new hairstyle today, courtesy of Zoe. I approve. Let him know on Twitter if you approve too. We're going to get to our game. Are you guys ready for some League of Legends? That was acceptable. I'll let it pass this time. All right. this team on my right, they're from Singapore. So you got to give them a much bigger round of applause from that. Everybody, absolute legends, Event Potion. And their opponents, I think one of the top teams in this tournament, from Poland, meet your makers. And I'm going to give it back to Jason's hair to analyze the picks and bans.
Hair and not my nose. I appreciate that.
I'm staring at it right now.
I know, it's just so, just want to touch it. I forgot about it. Last time I did my hair was spiking it, and I bleached the whole patch right here. It was so bad.
Ooh, were you 12?
No, it was before that.
All right.
People used to think I got in a fight with a box of bleach, and I lost.
Okay, all right. It happens.
And also, I saw someone in chat just mention, what is with the scarf? I don't think you've ever, or that I remember you talking about it.
My scarf?
Yeah, your scarf.
Yeah.
You have a new scarf every day at every event.
True.
Every event. Yeah, I don't know.
He has a separate suitcase for them.
I got a actually, yes. I got a huge box for it. And I love scarves. I use them before I play sports or whatever. You know, when I was so young, I was using a scarf already when nobody was using them. Suddenly, not right now, everybody's starting to use them. I'm happy about it. And obviously, the first days when I started using it, everybody was like, "Oh my God, this homo and stuff," you know.
Whoa.
But let's be honest. This is just stylish, and I feel good with it. So
I'm
why
still
not?
waiting for the SK Ocelot scarf, so I can actually pick one
It's
up.
gonna happen eventually, I guess, man.
I'm going to get one.
Nah,
All
I'm
right.
joking.
Well, we
Kidding.
finally are on the picks and bans here, and we saw yesterday that sometimes the bans went really quick. Everyone knew what they wanted to ban out, but it looks like Absolute Legends Event Potion just going to be taking their time here on their first one.
Ooh, shiny animation there. I like it.
And what do you two think needs to be banned out so far? We see the Katarina, which yesterday was so deadly, played by ELO Hell. Is that a necessary ban today, or is that just a safe ban?
Like Zaro plays her, and I think everything comes down right now to, okay, does AL play Katarina? Apparently they don't, because they come first pick her always, you know. So maybe that's one of the points. They don't play Katarina, so they have to ban her.
And you talked to me yesterday a little bit about Katarina's passive and how the passive makes the champion so snowbally. Once the team fight starts going right for you, you just automatically win it with Katarina, with all the resets. And maybe that's just something that AL are scared of, since they are the weaker team, and they might think, oh, if the stronger team has the Katarina, they will most likely get ahead in a team fight and then just snowball it home. And
So
then it's the rest of the
They ban
picks.
Chen first, then Yorick. That is their standard bans, to be honest. Yorick is a ban you want to do if you don't want a team that can corner your going combo. And they ban Orianna. AL bans Orianna, probably because they know Xari is a very, very good Orianna. The Lee Sin ban, pretty obvious.
The York I'm really curious about. Is that targeted towards something like they want to run a certain champion that gets countered by York?
Now that you ask, it might have sense.
It's not really a standard
they ban
ban to me.
Yorick because Yorick is a good corner for Malphite. On the other hand, they first pick Maokai because from the Yorick ban, they might have think about, okay, these guys might pick Malphite. You know what I mean? So it's a really, really smart choice.
Yeah, people really underestimate the mind game that happens in picks and bans. We see, people sitting on champions and not choosing until the last second, which is an attempt to throw off the other team. You could probably clarify that also.
Yeah, indeed. Like the mind game is pretty huge with these games. You think about every game so much.
Yeah. Well, we do have that Malcolm, like you said, locked in. We saw a lot of him yesterday. Didn't do, or actually, he did decent. His ultimate really mitigated a lot of Malphite ultimates to do the engage. But we do have a Skarner actually locked in for Makade, which I know he plays quite a bit of, and Chara locking in Zyra, but not really sure where that Zyra will go.
I do like that those two champions against the standard Maokai setups. So we will see.
I mean, the thing was with Malcolm, I was mentioning yesterday when we were casting, and you correct me if I'm wrong, he's one of those junglers you need to gank early because he's so strong early with his twisted advance, and if you don't pull anything off there, he kind of becomes useless minus his ultimate, just like York.
On the other hand, he's not the strongest corner jungler, he's not the strongest defending your own jungle.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword. If the opposite jungler is so strong that you cannot keep up that damage, you cannot keep up that superiority level 3 on your own jungle, then you're gonna be screwed.
Okay. And if you see Zyra nowadays, I know Dan, you can even comment on this, as Fnatic and Radiant plays him quite a bit, you typically think that will be a bot lane Zyra, correct?
It is normally these days. It tends to be a support. It is a very good support against a certain.
Vladimir. I think they want to be Vladimir.
Yeah, and actually AL talked to me about this lineup. It's a good support against certain go-in aggressive support because you can just root from a safe distance and do a lot of harassment. And there we see the Karthus Rumble combo. This is actually one of the core combos that AL have been practicing for this match. They told me about this. So that could be interesting. The double AP, and what is the reaction to double AP?
Vladimir is really good. I know Zaru plays Vladimir, and
Ooh.
I know on the there is one. I actually think Meteor Makers just outpicked the double AP combo.
How? Explain.
All right, so they got a lot of superiority. You can see they are most of them beefy, and they got a really reliable, strong engage, which is the Scanner ultimate.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Rumble relies on a middle range. You know, they can just burst down Rumble or burst down Kairos and then go back because they got nothing to keep up. You know, and Vladimir Darius is a really good combo together. Why is that? Because Vladimir does AoE damage. That's a lot of AoE damage. What is Darius doing? He ends up the people.
Could be
boom, 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 boom.
Right,
you know?
right.
So it's a really good combo together. I love them both together.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
So
the
with
last
the engage,
reason
it's
I'm
just
gonna go to.
ridiculously strong.
And let's just point out, we do have a Draven.
Say it,
player.
no, say it right. Draven. Yeah, Draven Tarek thing, which you don't really see unless it's Steven's giving us the thumbs up for that. Yeah, Alfred runs tons of Draven in the bot, or not tons, but he's the only one who really engineered him or really plays him too often. And how strong is a Tarek Draven combo? I mean, you have that stun, you have the damage from his Q, which also applies a dot. I mean, it hurts a lot.
You do have a very good harasser if you can hit Axis reliably, but he also has an amazing amount of burst. If you don't know how it goes, if you could just turn this off for a second.
Oh. Yeah, we're on your screen.
Yes.
But yeah, we have Severe locked in from Meet Your Makers. We have about
Severe,
10 seconds left. Who do you think has a stronger team? Who do you think's going to win this one? You mentioned Beat Your Makers, Ocelot. Is that who you're sticking with?
I think so. Is it they actually countered the double AP combo with this combo.
There's a lot of burst damage on. Well, this is just generally a lot of damage on AL. I don't know if they can do it though. Like he said, MYM is very beefy. There's no one that they can really burst down. Maybe the Sivir, but she has Spell Shield still.
Exactly.
And Spell Shield, of course, wonderful ability to have against the dual AP comp. So it looks like MYM actually did a really, really good job here in the picks and bans.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to Joe Miller and Demon. I don't know, I have to say it's some kind of weird, since you said my name all awkward like.
It doesn't really work, does it? No.
Didn't make any sense whatsoever. So, welcome to day 2. We decided to switch things up, and me and Demon are back together, which is a fantastic thing. Demon, I have missed you. We actually worked out the last time we casted together was at DreamHack back in June.
June, yeah. June or July.
We might not be any good anymore.
We don't know. Everybody loves us still, but we don't know what we're going to be like. We could be terrible. We've had a long time apart, but yes, we are getting underway, ladies and gentlemen. It is about to start. It is day 2 here at IEM Singapore Intel Extreme Masters. Is this classed as the first stop? Because I mean, Gamescom obviously happens at regionals. Is this technically classed as the first stop along the way for Intel Extreme Masters?
I think that
I need a comment clarification.
Gamescom technically really was.
It kind of was.
Either way, we'll see. So let's have a look what's going to happen here at level 1. First of all, though, a rundown of these two teams once again. For Absolute Legends Event Potion, we have Rez on Maokai, Mexi, who's today called 12,000 Mexicans, which I kind of like that nickname, if I'm honest with you, Demon. On Tariq, BBTY, not to be confused with BBILY. On Draven, CW, who for now will be just known as CW on Rumble because
is that meant to be go?
I'm not sure.
He needed to play Fiddlesticks, yeah.
And Apet on Karthus, and for Meet Your Makers, Makata on Skarner, Charu on Vladimir, Libic on Zyra, Kubon on Darius, and Makler on Sivir.
So what is going to happen this one? We have the League of Draven. Oh my god, the bottom lane are going to walk into it. They are going for the golems. They're going to go straight into it. Meet Your Makers ready and waiting. And Draven is just a couple of steps away from death. Is there anything really in there that can stun them? Oh, I guess if Kubon's took the...
If Libic's got his grasping root first.
What's he taken? He has got grasping roots. What's Draven taken? You can see the spear, so they're actually taking it the right way, but they're gonna kite it back to the right in a minute, I feel. But actually, no, they're doing this just the right. Oh, there's a ward right there. They know exactly that they're there, so they're just going to wait until he walks past, until there's no possible moment that they can walk away from this one. It is going to be 12,000 Mexicans going down first. The Ignite will be the kill. Oh, it's Zyra that got the kill. That is not the ideal thing, but Libic picking up the kill is not the end of the world, and that means they're immediately going to start things off. First Blood going to Meet Your Makers, and they're going to give Makata a start and a good grasping leash there on towards the red buff. It is a great start for Meet Your Makers.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't really have gone any better. I suppose it could have. They could have killed Draven as well. But still, and it could have the kill could have gone onto that AD carry, but they'll still enjoy that one. So let's have a look at this middle lane. Carthus versus Vladimir. We heard there from our cool kids desk, which is slightly less cool today because Steven's sat next to me. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, we are seeing actually they are going in onto Draven after all, diving in there at level 2. It was Makata tanking that turret up first with that red buff on. Makler then eventually picking up that kill, and well, it wasn't the first blood that they were maybe hoping for, but they got the second kill anyway afterwards. And so my point anyway was about this Vladimir, you know, a good pick in this situation against that double AP combo that Absolute Legends Event Potion are going to be running. I mean, Meet Your Makers are undoubtedly the favorites in this one. From us, you know, we used to see European League of Legends, American League of Legends, a lot of Korean League of Legends, a bit of Chinese League of Legends, but not much from Southeast Asia. So for us as commentators,
apart from Taipei Assassins,
you know, the Season 3 champions, I should probably mention they are also part of Southeast Asia.
They had a small bit of success, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we haven't seen a great deal. I mean, we had the qualifiers. Obviously, we did get to see a little bit. We've seen a couple of teams. Obviously, Pastry Time gives us a lot of the action from the Australian side of things, and he obviously tries to cover it. So we are getting to slowly see more and more of it. So it's starting to come on to us. But you know, these guys, we've heard pretty good things about them. The question is, how do they measure up against Meet Your Makers? Meet Your Makers, one of those teams that, oh my word, down the bottom lane, they're trying to get onto him. Makler was actually level 1 when they did that dive. By the way, he was still at level 1, so they were doing tower exchange on the damage at level 1. That's pretty crazy. But Meet Your Makers are one of those teams that we've said for a long time, because we covered them for, you know, from EU Nordic East days. We always said, you know, these are one of the teams that are going to break through eventually. Is this going to be their event? That's the question. Is this the tournament they can do it on? They're 2-0 up already. This bottom lane, Makler and Libic, they've been together, and you know, the whole Meet Your Makers team, other than Kubon switching, I think he changed. I think he went to actually Elo Hell, didn't he? And then he came back.
Yeah.
They had a small change, but other than that, they've had their core of their team has been there for a long, long time. So it's a solid lineup. These guys haven't changed, so they've managed to stay together as a solid line. Libic getting dived on down the bottom lane at the moment. You can see the twisted advance coming out. Rez is going to catch on to him. He should get the first kill for the Absolute Legends, and they do, and they manage to take him down. So Libic goes down. That is a good start and a good revenge that we required on that bottom lane. It's going to be interesting to see how Draven does. Jason touched on it earlier that Afromu plays Draven. Honestly, you know, even talking to CLG before, when they've come up against a team that's got Afromu in it, they'll just ban it out because they don't know how to play against it, because not enough people happen. And that might well be a problem for Meet Your Makers.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, to be honest. You don't see Draven very often at this top level, which means, okay, you see these players are going to get him, I'd say still rarely even in solo queue, but they're going to have played against him. But that's not really what they're looking for. It's still hard to really say what's going to happen in this bottom lane when you've not played against that Draven so often. I mean, if you're going against an Ashe, you know exactly what Ashe does because you've been playing against an Ashe for years and
tutorial,
years and years. But when it comes to Draven, not so regularly played, and that could throw a little bit of a spanner in the works for Meet Your Makers. But I liked your point about, you know, we did a lot of their games back when we commentated Go For Long,
before
Nordic
WCG, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We knew about them when we came to WCG. Everyone else was surprised, but we've been saying for a while, this team is very, very good. But since that second place WCG finish, I mean, no one remembers that. I think we're the only two who really remember that.
We keep flogging that dead horse.
So, yeah, they're going to win a tournament at some point. I'm sure of it, but well, when it's going to be, that's what I'm not so sure about. As BBTY is going very low here. Can they finish off? There he is going to get some more damage, but they've let him walk away. They're focusing down onto Mexi, who will get rooted up. He's used his flash. Oh, and MYM going to be a little bit annoyed with that one. Both of them escaping with minimal HP. Tariq was just, I'm guessing, hovering over his flash key as soon as that Grasping Roots was ready to go. He flashed down to that turret, managed to escape it as well. So let's have a quick look at the CS, because there is a bit of a difference there. Middle lane is bang even right now. Top lane, bang even. Jungle is bang even. But this bottom lane, Sivir 43 to the 25 of Draven. They forced him out of lane again. And Sivir has that 1 kill and 1 assist. Yet to go home. Well, I say that. She just portaled home and picked up the first BF sword. Meanwhile, in this top lane, Kubon is taking a little bit of damage and may well go down to this one. The Rumble ultimate did go in. He tried to take out Rez as he went.
Get a dunk, didn't he?
But it didn't work out.
Rez was actually very close to getting the donk on him there. I mean, he knew he was pretty much screwed, but that had to pay off because Maokai had spent so much time in that top lane there and actually taking the experience. And I think he kind of knew he was there. He went in, I can never remember the damn name of the hook, the pale. Oh, actually going straight for it at the time. Makata actually getting aggressive on whatever we want to call him, but it is CW, I think we could call him. But I'm getting my hot shot, channeling my inner hot shot there. But as it stands, it is 2-2. And you know, after a great start for MYM, they got the invade, they got the red buff, they got the 2 kills down at the bottom lane. They're actually coming back into this one. Like you said, the CS across the board staying very even. Sharu is doing a good job, though, in this mid lane. You can't underestimate how good a Vlad keeping up with the Karthus is, because both actually will get pretty damn strong. They're going to push through as we get a public service announcement come through.
Morning, choppers.
Morning, choppers. Nobody else outside of England will understand that reference. That's the problem. But as it stands, this is a pretty close game. Considering MYM coming into this one, undoubtedly the strongest team of the tournament, as far as we are aware. They're keeping up with this one. What gets me with Draven is, I mean, they're keeping the pressure on Draven there. They're keeping him back. I just get so lost when I play Draven for those. And he's throwing them out and catching them, no problem. But everybody else is just like...
it's very micro-intensive.
I'd focus so much on trying to catch it, I'll just walk into the opponent, completely lose track of what the heck is going on. But these guys, they're at a high level, they know exactly how to happen. But I'm just interested to see how Draven's going to handle it. How are you going to get late game? How they're going to deal with him? Because he actually has quite a lot of interrupts. His ultimate can go a hell of a long distance, pretty much across the entire map, just zips back and forward. So you might be able to pick up a couple of exit kills there, especially when we're around the dragon or something like that. But it's definitely an interesting dynamic how this one's working out. He is behind in CS, though, 23 CS.
Yeah, and now we do have Maokai
straight away. Wow.
Yeah, Maokai's coming into this bottom lane now. He has to wait a little bit because there is a plant just sitting and waiting there, giving that little bit of vision. Libic actually taking that bush now. And to be honest with you, Rez, he spent a lot of time in that top lane. Doesn't want to be spending, again, that amount of time in this bottom lane, as well as we are going to see Makla go head-to-head there with BBTY. And this Huntress Sivir, I think it is, this one. The blades are a little bit bugged, like you can't really see when they come out, which doesn't make it too easy for us to see exactly what they're going for. But there is a flash in. The twisted advance comes down. Makla in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the Karthus ultimate as well. That is a single kill. 12,000 Mexicans will die to the plants there of Libic. And there is a brilliant grasping route. Here comes the Impale. Flashing away, actually. Great stuff. Can he get in there for the Impale? No, he can't. Not quite. And Absolute Legends trading 1 for 1. They've lost their support demon, but they've taken the AD carry for it. Yeah, that was a good trade. And, you know, Makla, it was a ballsy move by Makla in itself. The fact that he was very confident, went back and just got the BF sword. He's now got the Berserker Greaves, but he's not got a great deal of hit points. Jaru taking some tower damage, a little too much. He's got to be careful. They're trying to actually bait out. Looks like they're trying to bait Karthus out. You can see he's coming around. Is he going to maybe go for it? He's still got the Impale available. Instead, he was going to try and pick the red up. Red's not available either, so Makata is definitely going to have to return to lane. Sharu keeping that lane farm, though, and he's keeping up with the Karthus, no problem. We're going to see how that one develops. Top lane is definitely Darius losing out, but Darius, I hate to say this, but Jason actually carried me with Darius in one of the games before. Oh, you don't admit that.
He did, and it was actually, you know, he played very well with it. Don't get me wrong. So he just becomes so strong late games if he gets fed, if he gets the farm. But as it stands, he's kind of struggling in that top lane versus Rumble.
Yeah, he's actually picked up that no magic mantle now. I'm guessing he's going to finish off those Merc Treads as soon as possible for that extra magic resist and the tenacity as well. And we shall see how that one all develops there. Currently around about a 6 CS difference between them. Skarner actually 4 CS ahead in the jungle. Middle lane is again bang even. So Chara doing a fantastic job with this Vladimir of keeping up with that lane. Bottom lane is still a 20 CS difference in favor of Sivir, who now has a Vamp Scepter Berserker Greaves built in compared to Draven's Doran's Blade, Vamp Scepter, and those Berserker Greaves as well. We did see Maokai actually come in, and there was a ward
to struggle,
put
you know,
down.
this bot lane. They're starting to lose out. Oh, it's going to be a double. No, they pinged it. They pinged it and saw it straight away. And the backup came out there. So you can tell the way the lane is swinging, and BBTY is actually starting to win out. He's still behind in CS, but that's the initial CS that he lost when he lost that death in lane. So he's actually not losing anything, which is actually pretty impressive considering he was about a level behind from early on from the ganks that came out. So they were fighting against, you know, they did a level 1 tower dive. So he was probably came into the lane always a level behind. You can see it's still a level difference right now between Mackler and BBTY, the two AD carries. And Libic has been as aggressive as he can get. Now they're trying to zone him out there. Oh, wow, just putting a ward straight in his head. Just missing out there, I bet. Tried to catch him out. But I'll tell you what, Event Potion is still in this game very much even. There is a 1,000 gold difference, which is nonsensical really at this stage. But the big advantage that Meet Your Makers had early on has definitely slipped away, and Absolute Legends are very much in this game.
They need to be a little bit careful here. Actually, both junglers do have oracles on right now, so they will be clearing out a lot of that vision from both sides of the map. Charu, again, he's not going to be too worried. I mean, once that twisted advance, you see it coming from that, especially if you go full range. Wow, look at that damage onto BBTY. Ultimate from Zyra, and 12,000 Mexicans is surely going to fall. He's burning. There was a flash, actually, out of Libic, and they're going to go for the double kill here, and they are going to pick that double kill up. One apiece for that bottom lane, and that's the funny thing is, it's Zyra that's leading the kill charge right now for MYM. 3-1-2.
Well, if you remember rightly, Libic used to be Libic #1 Troll EU, didn't he? It's trying to take Gosu Pepper's title, but that used to be his name a long, long time ago. But they're certainly doing a very good combo. Just as I was singing the praises of BBTY down in that bottom lane, they get a double. And that is not a good way to fall. And it's really the worst time. They could actually take the turret if they wanted to here, but I don't think they're going to go for it. Rumble heading down to the bottom, which means that Event Potion actually wanted to probably try and make a push for the Dragon there. So obviously if he's made his way down here already, had gone back, but he's having to rescue the lane, keep that tower. They want to keep the tower going. Don't really know who it would favour more to keep the towers up. You're not seeing that normal Asian style of just pushing the towers down as quick as possible. We did see it a few times yesterday, actually. We saw a pretty early turret as we get another announcement.
Well, I mean, we saw
it's
11
that we're live.
We saw an 11-minute game, so I guess you could call that fast tower pushing.
that was fast everything. Yeah, it was definitely laying down a challenge for any team out there to try and get a record. And when we talk about records, it's offline. Online's all well and good. Yeah, I know there's about an 8 or 9 minute game that Panky and Quickshot had.
That doesn't count.
It was
guys.
online. It doesn't matter. Yeah, when you're offline, actually at an event with teams that have legitimately here, then yeah, that's a record. I still got to give it to SK versus Eclipsia though.
That was still a pretty good one.
That was a fast game.
So let's have another quick look here as Charu has just taken down that middle turret. First one of the game. That middle lane, Charu's actually pulled ahead now by a good 11 CS. It's a big difference in this bottom lane, as you can expect. I mean, Mackler getting that 2-1-3, Zyra 3-1-2, Draven's died twice, Tariq dying 3 times. And that's the thing about this Sivir in this bottom lane, you know, that spell shield basically renders Tariq almost useless in terms of taking down the AD carry, because, I mean, it's not the slowest moving particle, effectively. Like, you can... It's not the easiest one to dodge, I'd say, out of everything that could be thrown his way, but it's certainly not the quickest either. It's not an instant stun that comes in, so he can pretty much block that one if he's on his toes, which now we'll see about, because he's going to be chased down, and there is a stun as I see it. Zyra ultimate going to come in. That will knock all 3 of them up. Karthus ulti. Hello, spell shield.
Back. Very nicely saved there by Mackler, and they did manage to get onto it, and you know, he baited out the spell shield actually with the dazzle to start with.
Yeah.
Tried to time it down, knew the timing was going to be higher. They could actually try and sneak around, or they could try and force the Dragon, and they can see that Shara is in there. Shara might get caught out here. Are the rest of the team going to get around? Our Pet's coming down now. Shara pops his ultimate. Got him playing across everyone. Wow. It's really just a case of keeping them at bay, though. He hasn't really got the damage. Mexicans might go down to the plant, though. He has the ignite, and Libic once again picks up another kill. Libic on a streak here. 4-1-3. That's another kill. That's going to be Mackler taking him down. Sharu getting in once again. It's BBTY they're going for. Reds are going to pick up because he's got the Oracle. Can they finish off? They want to try and dive this one, but they haven't got enough. And that's really all come from Event Potion. They were just being aggressive. They thought they could force the Dragon, but Meet Your Makers were very much ready and waiting. Now Darius comes down. Kubon is going to start it out, and they're going to pick up the Dragon themselves.
Yeah, great play by MYM. I'd say showing their experience there. I mean, these guys have got a lot, considering most of them were born in the 90s and not in the earliest years of the 90s, some of them.
You don't know how old that makes me feel.
Seems like I remember the 70s. What are you going to do?
That's a bit harsh.
You were born in the 70s.
I was born in the 70s, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, I was born in the late 80s, so just to prove
there's a lot of things that people missed out on back then. That's all I'm going to say. You know, the 80s was the best era for metal. But You know, it was also the worst era for Pop.
Oh, I missed a kill there.
You missed a kill.
Down Pop. That's the first one of the day.
We're so
fault.
busy talking about Pop that Charu goes down. He might be able to try and go for Makata. He doesn't want to dive too much, but Apet has come back. Hasn't got his ultimate available, so he can't finish off Makata. Would have been ideal, but Charu going down, he kind of just stuck around too long after that dragon.
Yeah, I mean, with the gold that he had, I can't quite see it now because he's just
spent
finished
it,
up the, I think Spirit
Visage
Visage was his last buy in there. So, you know, they've had plenty of gold. Maybe should have left from that one. I mean, he's now 0-1-3. But if we look at the kill distribution here as well, 3-1-3 on the AD carry, 4-1-3 for Zyra. And we talk about, you know, these kills shouldn't really be going to the support. You want to feed up your carries. As Kubon just trying to grab Rez in there. But at the same time, look at the items now between these supports because of that. Boost of mobility, Kindle Gem, double GP10, plenty of wards, got the pots in there, compared to Taric, who's got a Fairy Charm and a Health Crystal and boots. So, you know, it's not great that the carries haven't picked up those kills. Silver could now be a step further. I mean, already got that Bloodthirster, already well on the way to a Phantom Dancer. But it still opens a lot of opportunities for
I'm
and to be honest,
Libic's
been on form. His grasping roots today have been amazing.
I'm intrigued that Libic has got boots of mobility. As the support, he's going to be like full-on aggression with that. He wants to get them grasping roots, wants to land it, using the turret and actually tanking it down, and they're not going to take the turret, they're going for it instead. BBTY in all sorts of trouble. Hemoplay's going to go off, they're going to finish him off. Grasping root goes through, and it will be Makler that finishes that one down. And that was a very much easy execution by Mio Makers. They're starting to get their groove on, they're starting to go aggressive. And yeah, it's that ward just at the red buff, saw them coming. And again, they've got so far forward. Sharo again keeping away from their wraiths. So they've managed to take full control, and they're going to try and push it. They're going to try and take the inner turret. They may have enough here. Taric's the only one coming down, and I don't think 12,000 Mexicans is enough to stop Mio Makers. They just keep on driving through, and Libic is the one that picks up the turret. Libic at the moment, 4-1-4. You missed the top turret dive, but it doesn't matter because the bottom turret's where they're coming. They're going around the backside of our pet. Here they go. Makler goes in there. The Impale lands. They're pulling through, drags him away from the turret. He is a dead man. And he is taken down, and honestly, they're just going to walk away from that spell shield used by Makler, and they're just churning through these turrets. The top two have to react here because Meteor Makers are continuing on their drive, and BBTY might go down again. He does. He's only just spawned, and 12,000 Mexicans gets dropped again, and that's another double kill for Makler. Makler on a killing spree right now, 6-1-4. They are on the burn, and the top lane have finally reacted. Yes, they took the top turret, but they've lost 2 inner turrets while they were messing around at the top there.
Yeah, I mean, we missed the kill, but we saw the main important action, I'd say, from that one. Again, double kill coming out for Siva, and that's going to mean how much gold? 1,300 gold right now. I'm going to go home, pick up that Phantom Dancer and a pickaxe, plus the elixirs coming in. Hexdrinker just finished off there, along with the Phage for Darius. There's a Blasting Wand and a Negatron Cloak for Vladimir. There's wards being built all over the place, being bought all over the place. And just overall, they have a fantastic lead. It's nudging the 10,000 gold mark right now without seeing a Baron being done. Will MYM want to risk that? I mean, I guess they could do technically, but we've seen this so many times before that teams just aren't going to be willing to risk the lead that they've got by going in towards that Baron.
Well, I mean, they've almost put themselves into a do-or-die position here, and I think Chara are trying to bait out some abilities. They're trying to troll them with the pool a little bit, but I don't think they fell for it. But as you mentioned, you know, they could go for Baron. Draven's down the bottom, so he's a long way away. Yeah, there you go. They're putting the wards out. They're getting in position for it. Rez is going to try and clear those wards out as soon as he gets in there, but they are definitely in a position. They're just going to go and take the top turret instead, turn it in. Draven is just so far away. Yeah, he's had the call out from his team. He's going to try and react. The ping's going down. They're desperately trying to mad dash up there. Have they? Yeah, they have got an Oracle on Makata. I was going to say, as he lost it, but he hasn't actually died. So they've got 2 pairs of boots of mobility here. Oh, we could have a full-on base race from Event Potion. They could try and shove it straight up mid, yeah, and then realize that Meteor Makers are going to try and react to this one. They're getting around the side here. They're splitters of 2 there, and look at Charu. Charu's just baiting them away from that turret. They've actually saved the turret there. Now Makata goes in. They get onto Rumble. Rumble's going to get dropped here. And then immediately the ultimate coming out from Libic catches all members of Absolute Legends. They're going to get dropped. Makata's the target now. BBTY might be able to take him down. He gets the Oracle, but Draven's on a spree in the backside. Makler also picks up a kill, and the Karthus ultimate is not going to be enough. only takes down Libic, but that's a good kill. It ended a spree that Libic was on, ironically. The support kill on a spree. BBTY, the only man surviving. You can see Makta already on the inhibitor turret. He's got Sharo with him just to tank it up, pull it away, and Makta should have the damage. Here comes the minions. They're going to be able to take that turret down before they get back there. There's not a great deal that BBTY can do about this.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, he's going to put as much damage as he can down on towards Vladimir. He's going to go in there, queue his way back to healthiness. I mean, you pull in, obviously you lose a bit of health from that as well, but at this level, when you've got a revolver, that Spirit Visage in there as well with a blasting one, like, you pull a lot of it back. You heal yourself a lot with that Q there when you're Vladimir. So that will be a nice little push coming out. I mean, they didn't necessarily want to have that fight, I think, MYM, because it was more of a case of...
They saved the turret as well, which is the crazy bit.
Middle hour turret, it's got 31 HP. I think one of them should have sneezed during that fight to, you know, just get rid of that one. However, it looks like they're going to be giving up the Dragon. Zyra is just off towards his top side. Actually, we'll catch Karthus out. And look at the damage even that the plants are doing. That's the great thing about Zyra, that she has that root, she has the knock-up from the ulti. The plants really do actually hurt as well. So very, very strong support champion. I mean, 10 assists, 4 kills, 2 deaths. Actually, pretty much aside from the AD carry, the best stats going for the team. Now picks up that Zeke's Herald, which, you know, Sivir, with that Phantom Dancer, with her ultimate popped, you know, there's just... That's
insane attack speed, yeah.
Like, probably maxed out, I guess. We have to have a look at that.
The funny thing about Zyra is the fact that, you know, when she came out, she was an AP champion, and she's just been made a support champion, I guess, by the pro players. Effectively, they realised the value of the root and the abilities that she's got. And
that's great for the game, and I'm sure Riot are really happy with stuff like that, because, you know, they bring a champion out and say, "Okay, guys, this is an AP champion," and the player's like, "So guys, this is a support."
This is a support.
Which I'm sure Riot will be like, well, fair enough, if they're going to play a support. Maybe she's even better suited to that role, and we didn't realise it when we were first designing her. So, yeah, Zyra becoming that so much more popular in the last couple of months. I mean, since her release, I guess we can say, since people really started putting the hours in there.
There's a few there's a few other champions they've tried. I mean, like they've had Brazilian. We've seen Lux there a few times, actually, from the Korean team. So there's a good number of mid-champions that have managed to suit that role. Don't know how Nami's going to suit, obviously, the new champion coming out. The ping's going down at the moment. And again, Makata hasn't got the Oracle, but Libic has gone on board it. That's going to be definitely a change that's going to be different. Oracle on a 4-minute timer, I think it is, in the new one. That's a big change for Season 3. That's going to survive. Oh, Rumble, you're out of position. Is he going to get caught out there? He's actually going to show his position, gives himself away. So they know that Rumble's there. They could have tried to pincer him there. The rest of the team are trying to react to this one, Joe, but it looks like they're trying to set up for that Baron, but at the moment, I'm not sure Meteor Makers are quite feeling comfortable in their defensive. They need to make sure they get the perfect fight, it seems.
Yeah, and you can really understand that as well. I mean, first game of the day, a tough opponent, that's for sure. Absolute Legends event potion showing.
Oh wow, the ultimate use.
Yeah, ultimate.
That shows they've got no vision. That's effectively using the True Shot Barrage that Ezreal has to give full vision of what is there. They thought they were already on Baron. They'd already backed off, expecting they're on it. And I don't think event potion are going to fight for this one.
I don't think it's really. It's hard to say because of the goal difference right now. It's almost as if they really have to fight for it if they want a chance to come back. I mean, it could just push them over the edge as they are going to come in here. Needs a sapling. You need to get a sapling in that push if you are going to push in there. Actually, Rez is going to head over. Yeah. There is a sapling. That's going to reveal them all. And, well, Absolute Legends event potion will be like, good job, Rez. Glad that you did that one. Glad that you did that one. There's a wall of pain going down. Shirelli is actually probably going to go for the fight here. And it's Karthus, a great position for a Karthus in this fight. But look at that Zyra ultimate, even more perfect. Karthus is just being ignored right now, which is not something that you usually see. But this Karthus will go down. The AD carry is going to be finished off as well. Will Karthus picking up any kills? Yes, onto poor old Zyra. She's very squishy, blame her. Bless her. Yeah, an Oracle taken down, but now...
but you've got no pace. So they've got, I think it's super minions on the bottom wave. No, it wouldn't be super minions. They haven't taken inhibitors yet. They've got a big wave of minions down there. They're going to take this inhibitor. There's no doubt about that. They may even be able to finish the game here, honestly, Joe. They've got the spawn time is not that long right now because we're only 26 minutes into this game. It's not been a long, drawn-out occasion. It's actually a pretty high-scoring game. 28 kills in 27 minutes. That's a pretty high-scoring game. Oh, Kuban nearly got taken down there. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to recall in that position. You can see that they're going to try and come out. They're going to try and put a bit of damage down. They're going to try and save the inhibitor. Makler does take the inhibitor down. They are going to catch back onto him, though, and the ultimate kind of used out there. They are going to take Sharu down. So it's a bit of an exit frag, as you'd call it, if it was an FPS game. They are going to catch the slow down, but Makler's just going to walk away from this one. So just the one kill, but 2 inhibitors gone. It is very hard to come back from 2 inhibitors down.
Yeah, 2 inhibitors. One thing that could be interesting from Absolute Legends now is the fact that they didn't recall but walked away, and I'm wondering if they're just going to go straight off towards Baron, using that opportunity, knowing that Charu is down. The rest of the team have either portaled somewhere else or are walking back and not going back to heal. So they may just think about having a go at a Baron here. I mean, after that last team fight, they lost all but one guy. It could probably be worth it by now. You just see the damage there between Zyra and Sivir. I mean, Sivir, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, working up towards that Infinity Edge, got the Berserker Greaves in there as well. That is a lot of damage. Vladimir's just picked up a needlessly large rod as well. Draven, Frozen Mallet, Hex Drinker, picked up another pickaxe as well. This is a very strong team. They've also got the Aegis in there as well. To give them that extra little bit from the aura. So they're just looking very strong, Meet Your Makers, and it'll take a throw at this stage from them to lose this game.
It is going to take a throw. The question is, could it come? You know, and the thing is, you know, a bad Baron fight could create that, but honestly, I'm not seeing where the damage is coming from right now.
Well, you just saw how they ignored Karthus there, actually, which was a bit of an indication that Karthus is in the middle of the team. I mean, if you're team fighting here, that's a brilliant position for Karthus. You can't get out of it. But they've decided to leave it anyway. Let's have a look at the Baron HP, down to 3.5. Are they going to drop away from it? Down to 1,700. They're going to keep going on it. Now they've come off it, and we're going to see a big team fight. There's the dunk coming out of Kuban, and the dunk master is dunking his way through for victory.
Penta,
and there's
surely?
the quadra kill.
Yes,
and
the pentakill.
Yes.
The dunks are strong from Kuban, and he picks up the penta. That is the danger that can happen. And beautiful, beautiful play. That's going to be Meet Your Makers taking victory without a doubt. They've got super minions in the base. They're going to run straight through, and they are going to take the first game of the morning. And it is going to be Meet Your Makers 1-0 in this group. But Event Potion, you know, they don't look too bad. They put up a good fight considering the horrendous start they had with that double kill down on the bottom lane. You know, they came back to it quite well, but Meet Your Makers very, very strong. And the pentakill from Kuban.
Boom, 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 boom. Pentakill. Good timing. So, yeah, Meet Your Makers there on your screens. Calm and relax. I have to say, though, Absolute Legends Event Potion, this is what we were more expecting from the Singaporean teams. Obviously, Armageddon yesterday was an anomaly, let's call it, from that one. But they actually look really, really good. And I think that Bangkok Titans, who are actually sat just in front of us here wearing pink headphones.
And Ititeki Masu. Cool. Yeah. It's easy for me to say.
I'm not even going to try it. if I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it. But I think they've just shown with that one that they are a really dangerous team in this group, and they certainly will be challenging, in my opinion. But Demon, I mean, just our little bit of analysis from that one. There was a couple of big differences in that. And if you look at Draven compared to Sivir, Draven has got a Zeal and an Infinity Edge. Sivir's got an Infinity Edge, a Bloodthirster, a Phantom Dancer. So
yeah, I mean, the bottom lane was really where the difference was. They did pretty well in the top lane. They actually tried to keep Darius out of it as much as possible, as much as you can. But I did kind of say, you know, Darius can come back into it, and once you get that pentakill, he actually only finished 8-2-5, so that pentakill kind of helped his stats, make it look a lot better. But really, it was all about Makler, that game for me. But I guess that's it. We'll pass back to the cool kids desk, which is going to be Jason, Zen on the Stoic, and Ocelot.
Yes, the cool kids, finally. As Joe was saying, not too cool kids-esque anymore. But wow, what a game. We have to talk about that, because Meet Your Makers was looking a little iffy in the beginning. I mean, that's some good ganks at the bottom, but walk us through those real quick. Just like what happened early on.
We saw a lot of presence from Maokai, and that was very, very impressive there. Maokai obviously has a couple of roles in a setup. He has this anti-go-in role, but he also has a lot of presence just because of the Twisted Advance. It's a very good gap closer, and then the Arcane Smash to slow them and knock them back. And we saw a couple of really good ganks working off of that. The problem really was from the very beginning that bot lane started so very well with the kill at golems. And you just said, they just ran away with it there in bot lane. And actually, we took one stat down, I think at the 28-minute mark. you guessed how much a difference in gold there would be between the AD carries.
3,000.
Ocelot guessed 3 or 4,000. We looked it up. It was a 5k gold difference between Sivir and Draven. And at that point, it was really over. And yeah, Maokai in top lane as well. A couple of really brilliant ganks there. And it seemed to be working decently for AL. And there were a couple of moments here on the Cool Kids desk where we were like, these guys are actually quite good. AL actually do know what they're doing, but the one lane can just sometimes lose you a game like that.
I mean, normally it doesn't happen, but if it's just a 0-7 score or 0-8 like it was, it's just too much, obviously. Like 80 carry fed means most likely GG. You could say that Makler was the main source of damage of every single team fight, even so we saw the Pentadunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually when the 80 carry is fed, not much you can do.
Yeah, you said we're talking the game 0-8 bot lane coming out of AL, and then we had 8-2 for Meet Your Makers, and like you're saying, can't really come back from that. And I know we want to go to a replay, but before we do that, I want to talk about you, or with you also, and Daniel, about Karthus versus Vladimir, because we're talking about that a lot in game, and you pretty much nailed down the point. You said, okay, right here is when Vladimir's going to start overtaking Karthus.
Yeah, so early level, from level 1 to 5, you could, even 6, you could say that Karthus is ahead, if Karthus is good. With the auto-attacks on Q, that's so much harass for Vladimir. But I realized that this Karthus was actually a really good player, really good Karthus player. But yeah, afterwards, after level 7 and stuff, when the Q heal gets too strong, not much you can do. I mean, he could have get dived. Imagine Vladimir has Ignite instead of heal, then it would have been totally different. He would have actually dived easier.
And another thing that you pointed out is that Karthus went for Asonias, and you said he didn't really need it. You said that a death cap might have been the better investment there. And we are going to go very soon to replay. You're going to see something that the casters pointed out. In that whole fight, Karthus couldn't have had better positioning, and they just ignored his damage output. There just wasn't enough damage yet. Of course, he had tier 1 boots as well, so he didn't have the spell pen that he would otherwise have had. So in overall, Karthus played safe, but he didn't bring the damage to the table. And normally that would be fine if you have somebody like a Draven who has really, really strong steroids. If he is just at least on the same level with Sivir, he can put out the damage, but he was nowhere near. Yeah,
I believe it was 25 minutes in, he had a pickaxe, a BF sword as his main items. And then we saw for Sivir had Phantom Dancer and Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
It's really hard to come back from that.
So we got here the team fight. If you guys can show, okay, perfect. So here is the team fight that decided everything. Vladimir got most likely caught, so obviously they wanted to engage there. It was an all or nothing situation, and as you can see, they just are ignoring Karthus. He's not doing enough damage. Obviously, that was a really good engage. I would have done the same. I would have told my team to engage the same, but the problem is the AD carry was extremely underfed. That's how I do it.
You mentioned Draven in particular there as like he was the last one alive. You said just he's doing nothing. You look at him, he's not hurting at all. You saw Vladimir just heal, and he took a sliver of health.
And we saw Sivir just wonderful positioning there as well. She was just on the other side of the wall there, constantly auto-attacking over the wall. She was perfectly safe. She did take some damage, of course, because with the dual AP combo, you're always going to take some damage. But she kept herself safe enough, and she kept throwing those little boomerangs over. Yeah. And we don't have any analysis for the next replay that we have for you guys, but just for the aesthetic pleasure. Actually, you know what? I think we should show this at half speed, because it is going to be, it's basically poetry in motion.
It's satisfying to the ears.
We shouldn't, it's fine. I mean, it was a Pentadunk.
We should show the let's show it at
first penta of the tournament as well.
Yes, and let's go.
No.
Go on, do it. P? What are you doing? No, don't.
No, not working, not working. The Pentadunk broke the game, it seems.
Did it?
Yeah, it did break the game.
That's a shame. No Pentadunk, but I'm sure you can find it on YouTube very, very soon. I would be surprised.
It was like Michael Jordan dunking people.
From half court. Like in Space Jam. Yes. I had to get that in at least once.
It was too beautiful for the game.
Yeah.
Too beautiful.
And we talked about items during the game, and you didn't really fully agree with Vladimir's items also. He went with, I believe it was an Abyssal Scepter. He went with a Spirit Visage. And you wanted to see Azonia's out of him. Why is that?
I think Zhonya's, even though he has armor, you could say, okay, it's the anti-physical damage item. It's not. Zhonya's is the perfect item to counter burst damage. It's the perfect item to counter channeling damage, you know. Karthus Ultimate, Karthus Ultimate is probably the spell that you can counter the most with Zhonya's. And if I was Vladimir myself, I would have probably went like Ratchet right after the spellvamp item.
Well, what about the top lane? I mean, we saw a lot of action, a lot of actual jungle interaction there. But we had Rumble's items. He had that 69 spell pen. We had Darius who
really
built the
good.
Hex Drinker.
Rumble played that really, really good. He has 60 magic penetration, and it's exactly the build I would have went for. So.
And he did some really cool stuff from time to time. And I remember as well, there was a very, very nice ultimate snipe that we saw in Midland. I think they caught that. So that Rumble definitely played very well.
No, that was the first kill Joe missed because he said on stream, oh, well, there's the first one of the day.
Yes. Well, it's great that we pointed it out again.
And speaking of Joe, we actually have something very interesting today. At 20,000 followers for him, I believe he's 300 short. Yep. He's going to be shaving his head. And by shaving his head, he actually has we have someone from L'Oreal here to cut his hair, I think, in between each game. So you guys need to make sure to follow him at Joe_Miller as he signed a little bit of autograph. And also, you can tweet at us questions with #IEM.
Yeah?
Yeah, do it, players, do it. Any kind of question to Bad Bali?
Let me see.
Is welcome.
Yes, yes. Let me see if there is anything interesting happening as we are already in the next lobby, actually.